Welcome to the Tennish Podcast.
That's the meekest little hi. Hi! It sounded like Mickey Mouse.
Is it meek to be nice, Brandon? Is it meek to be welcoming and warm?
It's meek to be Mickey Mouse.
But yeah, this is the Tennish Podcast. My name is Nick.
I'm Brandon.
He's Brandon. Yeah, that's his name. And this show is called the Tennish Podcast. It's very cute and clever because we usually talk about top 10-ish lists.
Right.
So it might be 10, it might be 11, it might be 48. But on this show, one of us brings a top 10-ish list and the other tries to guess it without knowing what the list is ahead of time. Did I get that right, Brandon?
That's exactly
Did I hit
right.
all points? No, I'm not happy with it. Let's start back at the top.
Let's not. This was already take two.
It's a little too inside baseball for our listeners.
So, the sidekick host is the only one who can make a boo-boo. Although, I would still say that my boo-boo was a lot worse than your boo-boo. Your boo-boo cost us about 24 seconds of time, and mine ate up about 2 hours. I don't know, probably total. Yeah, actually, probably about 4 hours total. Okay, so let's just move on from that.
Stop, you're making me depressed. Yeah.
So let's move on from my mistakes.
There's sure to be plenty more as we go here.
Let's get into where you're going to start making mistakes today, because you're going to be guessing the 10 most educated states in the U.S. Most educated is defined by, I defined it this time, by those states with the highest percentage of the population with advanced degrees. So these are degrees beyond a bachelor's degree.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting. So they have to have a master's or higher?
Correct.
Is this based on like current living population?
Correct, yes.
Is Mississippi number 1 or 2?
Funny you should ask. Mississippi is not number 1 or 2. And you know, usually, if you're new to the show, I'm going to explain for the folks at home who are new to the show. We usually start out by guessing the things that are definitely not in the top 10. And sometimes those are jokey. Sometimes those are just getting them out of the way. But this time, I want to talk about the top 10 least educated states. So you could scratch these off your list.
Hang on, before you get going, tell us your source.
Oh, my source for all of this is Wikipedia. The source that they used is, one moment, please.
Meatspin.com?
The census. This is census data on this wiki page.
That doesn't make any census.
Okay.
No, I need you to laugh at that. It was good.
So the least educated states. Number 10 is Iowa.
No, wait, when you say least educated and number 10, does that mean like actually number 50?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually,
So
you're right.
Yeah.
Let me go down to the bottom. Now, this also includes territories. It includes states, federal districts, and territories. My list is only states. So let me go ahead and spoil the districts and territories. And they generally fall at the bottom here. 56, with 3.5% of its population having an advanced degree, is American Samoa, then the Northern Mariana Islands, and then Guam and Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Okay.
So the state with the lowest percentage of the population with an advanced degree is North Dakota.
Oh, that's a bummer.
They have over 92% of the population has a high school degree, though.
That's good.
Then it's Arkansas, West Virginia, Mississippi, Nevada, Louisiana, South Dakota, Oklahoma, which we knew that, Idaho, and Iowa.
Huh. Some of those surprised me.
Which one surprised you?
Well, first of all, I'm surprised Oklahoma's not near dead last. But also, Iowa, Idaho, Nevada stood out to me as I wouldn't have expected those in the bottom 10.
I think there's a lot of desert people.
What? Is that people living in the desert?
I don't mean like Tusken Raiders from Star Wars. Yeah, I just mean people who they're a little bit off the grid. And by a little bit, I mean they're off the grid. And they live out in the desert or the rolling hills. And they don't need any fancy education.
But they're not counted then in the census.
Guess if you're off the grid, you aren't counted by the census. Well, I don't know.
Do you want me to just do the show this week? Because you can't seem to get your shit together.
We'll never know the answer. Now, what you need to do is start thinking about the states with the highest percentage of advanced degrees. But let me tell you first, the absolute highest rate of the population with an advanced degree is the District of Columbia.
That surprises me too.
Is number 1. And on this list, like I said, my list is just the states. District of Columbia, 32.8% of its population has an advanced degree.
That's high. But, you have to remember DC is one of those places that has a lot of people that weren't raised there.
Correct.
There.
And there's quite a bit of that reflected in this list, as you'll find out later. States and places laying claim to people who are quote unquote from there, and they shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. They're bragging that so-and-so is from their state, but they shouldn't. A lot of states have laid claim to famous figures when they shouldn't have.
Famous figures. Are you going to be telling us?
So for each state, we're going to talk about their institutions of higher learning, but then we're going to highlight, what kind of people are these educated states producing? Who's coming out of these? Who's coming out of Oklahoma? Would you like to know?
Well, we got
Toby Keith, and if you don't, he'll stick a boot up your ass.
I was gonna say he might not be the smartest sumbitch, but he'll stick a boot up your ass if you cross America.
I don't like Toby Keith as a person, not just musically.
Well, he's got a hell of a restaurant.
Can I tell you and the listeners, what this son of a bitch did?
I'm gonna have to run this by our attorneys. Can I get back to you next week?
No, I'm going after Toby Keith, and I'm going hard right now.
Okay, here we go.
Toby Keith is a resident of Norman, Oklahoma. He owns a home there. That's where the University of Oklahoma is. He's a huge University of Oklahoma football fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to stand on the sideline at team games and gets to go to all kinds of...
So would you say he's the OU Sooners Jack Nicholson?
I think Barry Switzer is OU's Jack Nicholson. Toby Keith is our Spike Lee.
Okay. And we're referring, of course, because Jack Nicholson's always courtside at Lakers games.
Right. Spike Lee is courtside at Knicks games. And Toby Keith and Barry Switzer are usually on the sidelines of football games. And Barry Switzer is definitely more personality, more like Jack Nicholson's personality.
Yeah. Hell of an ass on him, too.
Beautiful ass on Coach Switzer. Anyway, Toby Keith lives in Norman. At the time, he drove a Hummer that was the same color as the University of Oklahoma's Crimson. And I was with a group of friends, and we went to a dinner at a Mexican restaurant for my friend's birthday. And when we exited the restaurant, there was Toby Keith in his crimson-colored Hummer, parked right outside the front door of this popular, busy Mexican restaurant. And he was waiting on an order, it seemed like. He had his driver's side door open, and he was standing with one foot on the ground and one foot up in his truck looking at his phone. So he clearly wanted to be seen and noticed. He is like one of the biggest country stars in the world. And my friend went up and said, "Hey, it's my birthday, Toby. Can I get a picture with you?" And he didn't even look up from his phone. He just said, "Nope." And then he got into his Hummer and closed the door and then sat there for like 5 or 10 more minutes before he went in and picked up his food.
Well, Brandon, I mean, you might not know this yet.
Nope.
No one,
fuck him.
No one wants your picture. People are hounding me and Toby Keith, people like us, all the time for our pictures, and sometimes you got to put your foot down when you're just trying to get a big old burrito at the Mexican place. You can't always take the picture.
The difference is Toby Keith has fans trying to take his picture. You have law enforcement trying to get you on the sex offender registry.
That's not accurate.
Nick's not a sex offender.
Toby Keith, listener of the show.
Toby Keith is a sex offender.
Is he?
No, but whatever. Fuck that guy.
Adds to your narrative.
Yeah.
Help me understand something here. You're a sports with a Z fan, so I get it for like pro sports. Like, let's use the NFL. You're from the Dallas area or even just Texas.
Are you talking about how Toby Keith is a big OU fan even though he did not attend or play football at OU?
Thank you, yes.
Yeah, it rubs me the fucking wrong way.
Well, it's not just Toby Keith. That's like millions of people do that. Yeah, I know so many people that...
I know, but Toby Keith is the worst one because he gets to go down the goddamn sideline and stand by Barry Switzer for all the football games.
What makes a person, Toby Keith or not, so obsessed with a certain team that represents a very specific school they didn't go to? Like, at least the Dallas Cowboys, the example I was starting to give before you fucking cut me off, is that they at least represent the Dallas area. The University of Oklahoma is an extremely specific school, and it's one of like however many schools in the state that play Division I football. So help me understand it, Brandon.
In Oklahoma, I think it's because we don't have a professional football team. But yeah, it's like cheering for a high school football team in high school you didn't go to. I kind of get it, but mostly my anger is focused at Toby Keith. So let's get back to the states and their education.
One thing about Toby Keith, you have a lot of anger toward Toby, but I think it's hard to be mad at him when he's such a patriot for America.
I mean,
I'm fucking with you.
He'll stick a boot up your ass.
Okay. Go through that again, the 50 through the bottom 10 there.
Iowa, Idaho, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Louisiana, Nevada, Mississippi, West Virginia, Arkansas, and North Dakota.
So now I'm going to guess which states are in the top 10 for
highest percentage of a population with an advanced degree.
And you already said DC would be number 1, but it's not a state.
Right.
I think there's some pretty easy ones here. I'll get those out of the way. Let's start with Massachusetts.
Well, you sandbagging son of a bitch. That's the top one.
How does it feel? I want to know how it feels to have your list spoiled in the very beginning like you do to me all the time.
Feels good. I don't care.
Well, this is far less satisfying now that you don't care.
Sorry. I knew I could take that away from you somehow. Massachusetts, 18.7% of their population has an advanced degree. Compare that to District of Columbia, 32.8%. So Massachusetts is home to 121 institutions of higher education. Among them, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Tufts, Boston College, 3 of the top 5 liberal arts colleges, Williams, Amherst, and Wellesley.
God, I hate liberals.
UMass has 4 campuses across the state, the main campus boasting more than 25,000 students enrolled. But we can't forget in Massachusetts, it's home to Harvard, which created the Unabomber.
He was a Harvard grad, yeah?
No, he went to Harvard for undergrad, and that is where he partook in MK Ultra's psychological experiments.
Oh, God, you're going to send us down a rabbit hole if you're not careful.
I've been down too many rabbit holes. I don't have time to go down this rabbit hole. So, Massachusetts got a lot of brainy people in it, right?
Legend says, yeah.
Legend has it. Well, let the legend grow today. I'm going to share with you the type of high quality, high caliber people that are coming out of this, of the state of Massachusetts. And you will like this. 4 alumni from The Office are from Massachusetts. Do you know who those 4 people are?
So these are people born in Massachusetts, right?
Yes. Well, I thought it meant born in Massachusetts, but as I started assembling these lists, and something that we'll find as we go through this is that multiple states lay claim to the same people. For instance, I found no less than 3 states that lay claim to Frederick Douglass. And I understand they all want a piece of the legacy that is Frederick Douglass.
Of course.
But Massachusetts is one of the states that claims him, and I couldn't even find out if he ever lived there. But they claimed him anyway. So, well, back to The Office. You love The Office.
Yeah, I do.
Which 4 Office actors are from Massachusetts?
Let's start with Jenna Fisher, Pam Beesly.
No.
Okay. Creed.
No, you don't know shit, man.
I don't know shit, no.
Steve Carell.
That was my next guess.
Mindy Kaling. John Krasinski. BJ Novak.
BJ Novak?
They're all from Massachusetts. Massachusetts also, in addition to making brainy people, makes funny people. Listen to the list of comedians that came out of there. And this list is by no means comprehensive. Mike Birbiglia, Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien, Patrice O'Neill, Amy Poehler, Joe Rogan, Jenny Slate, Doug Stanhope, Stephen Wright, Dennis Leary, and Jack Lemmon. He's dead. They're all from Massachusetts. Other famous people from Massachusetts, and this is a potpourri of famous people from Massachusetts. Are you ready for this?
A potpourri.
Frederick Douglass, Ben Affleck, Johnny Appleseed, Matt Damon.
Wait, Johnny Appleseed was real?
Yeah.
No, what the fuck he was? He was a folk tale.
He, invented apple trees. I swear to God, Johnny Appleseed is a real fucking guy. I'm looking him up right now.
No.
Johnny Appleseed, a name everybody knows. He crossed the wilderness. That's how the story goes.
Was an American pioneer nurseryman.
John Chapman, better known as Johnny Appleseed, American pioneer nurseryman.
The hell's a nurseryman?
I'm about to fucking say it. He introduced apple trees to large parts of Pennsylvania, Ontario, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois.
You're telling me there were no apples in these places until the 1800s?
No. Went around sticking his finger in the ground and then popping a seed into that little hole.
Oh my God.
Wearing a pot on his head.
There's no pot on it. He's wearing a hat.
I thought that was the thing. He wore a little pot.
Well, see, if he was a real person, then at least his legend has been exaggerated.
Like the pot on his head.
Yeah, like the pot on his head.
And his big blue ox.
Wait, I thought that was...
That was Paul Bunyan.
Yeah. Did you say that he popped what in the hole to plant a seed?
He put a finger in the ground and make a little hole, and then you pop a seed in there.
Well, we don't know for a fact he used his finger. Look, he could have placed it on the tip of his winky. Now listen, this sounds like I'm trying to be funny, but this is really practical. You place it on the tip of your winky. Are you with me?
You thrust into the dirt?
No, you very carefully so that it doesn't roll off the tip of your winky while you're doing this. You get down and like lay down flat on the belly and face down on the ground, put the winky in, delicately drop that seed, and then while you're down there, you can enjoy a little rustling.
A little Mother Earth.
So now you're killing two birds with one stone.
You just shout at a farmer in the next field. Mother Earth is a MILF.
I mean, why not? It's a lot more interesting than your boring ass finger. I see your finger and raise you a winky.
That Nick kid's out humping the ground again. Okay, so...
And I'm guessing that most, if not all, those people don't have advanced education degrees.
No, well, yes, all of these people have advanced degrees. So, did you enjoy that I put Johnny Appleseed between Affleck and Matt Damon?
Did I enjoy it? No, not particularly.
I've carefully crafted the order of this list. Ben Affleck, Johnny Appleseed, Matt Damon, Kurt Russell, Aerosmith, Rob Zombie, Michael Bloomberg, Susan B. Anthony, allegedly Frederick Douglass, Eli Whitney, Abby Hoffman, Noam Chomsky, Paul Revere, John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Sam Adams, Calvin Coolidge, Oliver Wendell Holmes, JFK, RFK, all the Ks, Malcolm X, Whitey Bulger, Uma Thurman, and John Cena!
Isn't Uma Thurman a folk legend just like Johnny Appleseed was?
Her feet are. I did the John Cena thing.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, we all loved it. Haven't heard it before.
Yeah, so that's Massachusetts.
How is Massachusetts named? Does that word mean something? Because it just sounds like a fucking vegetable or something.
It's got to be... I think it's probably Native American. Let's find out. Etymology. It's named after the indigenous population, the Massachusetts, likely derived from a Wampanoag word, Maswatchwahot. That word has an 8 in the middle of it. The 8 in these words refers to the oo sound, so it would be Massachusetts.
All right, we gotta move on before every Native American listener hits the unsub button.
I am Native American.
No, well, you're a pretend Native American.
I have a card, an official card.
Okay. New York.
New York is the 5th.
No, wait. New York. Go ahead.
New York is the 5th on this list in percentage of the population with an advanced degree. The percentage is 15.4% of New York's population has an advanced degree or higher. New York is a state that contains such prestigious universities such as Columbia, Cornell, New York University, Rochester, Syracuse, Fordham, Hofstra, West Point, the Juilliard School. New York spends more on public education per pupil than any other state.
Why don't we just call them students? Why do they got to be pupils?
They actually spend it on the middle of people's eyes.
Is the definition of pupil different than the definition of student? Don't answer that. It's too boring to find out. Do you have examples of how New York is investing in their pupils.
I hear the Sesame Street is very well funded. It's a great place for children to visit and learn.
All right, just go ahead and give me the fucking famous people then.
So here's the kind of brains the New York State is pumping out. 7 presidents, including your favorite president,
Donald J. Trump.
Donald J. Trump. And we know he's your favorite president because he tweeted it. He called himself your favorite president.
How could he not be my favorite president when he reads the Bible more than anyone else?
No one reads the Bible more than he does. No one loves the Bible more than he does.
But don't ask him about his favorite verse because that's very personal.
That's right. Yes. Man who everybody knows fucked a porn star said it's too personal to share a Bible verse.
What? When do you think the last time is that Trump held a Bible in his hand?
January 20-something, 2017.
The inauguration or whatever.
Yeah, I guarantee that was the last time he touched one. Every time he touches it, it burns some of the orange off on his skin.
Well, he's the chosen one. Who am I to question?
All right, listen to this list of luminaries sprinkled in with pedophiles.
Okay.
Woody Allen,
Uh-huh.
luminary and pedophile. The Baldwins, probably some pedos sprinkled in them.
Holy shit, hot take.
Well, Alec Baldwin was in Epstein's Little Black Book.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Mel Brooks, Chevy Chase, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise.
You trying to get me to shit on Tom Cruise some more?
Macaulay Culkin, Robert De Niro, George Carlin, JWoww.
JWoww. God, I was not expecting that.
I told you I really carefully crafted the order which I read these off.
Oh, God. Tell the folks at home who JWoww is.
JWoww, her real name is Jennifer Farley. She is an idiot who, who was on Jersey Shore. The Marx Brothers, Don Rickles, Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, Jerry Seinfeld, Leah. She's dead.
If you say so.
Christina Aguilera.
She's dead.
Mariah Carey.
Dead.
J-Lo.
Not dead.
Frank Sinatra.
Not dead.
Beastie Boys.
Dead.
Well, 1. 2 out of 3 alive. Puff Daddy.
Dead.
Jay-Z.
Dead.
Ladies Love Cool James.
Not dead.
You know who that is?
No.
LL Cool J.
Holy shit.
Ladies Love Cool James.
That is fucking...
Did you not know that's what it stood for?
No. Is that like well known?
Yeah, Ladies Love Cool James.
I just had a moment like you did when you realized Maggie Simpson is named after her mother, Margaret, or Marge.
Yeah, something where you're like, everyone else says, you know, shit.
Yep.
Yeah, no shit. Ladies Love Cool James.
Sure.
Notorious B.I.G., the Wu-Tang Clan, and attorney and pedophile Alan Dershowitz. Oh, and also Frederick Douglass.
Second state in a row that claims Frederick Douglass.
This fucker was born in a quantum state. So that's New York. And all of these lists have many, many more people, most of which you've never heard of and are infinitely smarter and more representative of the education that these states offer, but they don't make for good conversation.
No.
Just because you're smart doesn't mean somebody's going to be talking about you. Evidence, JWoww.
Okay, so that's New York.
That's New York. You've got number 1 and number 5.
I think California has to be on here.
You're wrong.
Really?
They're not on there.
Where are they? Top 20.
They're number 14.
I was close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sniffing that list. trying to get a good whiff.
Let me give you a little guidance that the majority of these states
Northeast
are in the Northeast or the East Coast, except for one. One of these states is totally landlocked in the West.
We know Florida's not in the top 10. Sorry, Florida.
Mm-mm.
We know Georgia's not in the top 10. We know... I could see North Carolina being in there.
North Carolina is not in the top 10.
New Jersey.
New Jersey is number 7.
Knew it.
That's 14.7% of their population has an advanced degree. New Jersey is home to such esteemed universities as Rutgers and Princeton. Princeton is one of the, when you think of an Ivy League school with the best education, Princeton is one of the ones that comes up. And I didn't know until I was like over the age of 30 that Princeton was in New Jersey. I didn't have any reason to know because I had no chance in hell of ever going there.
You can say that again.
New Jersey has birthed or been home to the following.
Well, maybe they birthed it after Johnny Appleseed planted his seed there.
Bruce Willis, Jack Nicholson, Danny DeVito, Buzz Aldrin, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Another name I was not expecting today.
John Bon Jovi, Aaron Burr, David Copperfield, Whitney Houston. She's dead. Queen Latifah. Remember, I had an observation about Queen Latifah.
Yeah, do you want...
I'm not going to do it again. Shaquille O'Neal, Bruce Springsteen, and I'll give you I want to have you guess the last person on here. This is an actor, a very famous actor who I did not know was from New Jersey. He shares a unique and odd quality with Tom Cruise.
Oh, it's John Travolta.
It is John Travolta. I wonder how many times they've met or done sex together.
Or sacrificed a virgin together. Isn't it? John Travolta's been known to play both sides, isn't he? I thought I heard that somewhere.
You mean like Machiavellian or bisexuality?
Like he wouldn't mind if Tom Cruise was joining him on a...
Yeah, there's all kinds
escapade.
Of stories about him in bathhouses or getting, like saying like, hey, while you're massaging my back, why don't you eat my ass? Or, whatever.
John Travolta is one of the last people I'd want to see naked, I think. And it's not even that he's like, because there's fatter people, there's uglier people, but there's just something slimy about him these days, isn't there?
He has a very big head and big jaw and he's got a big chunky head and face. And his hairline is always doing something crazy.
A big chunky head and face. Do you remember when at that award show when he just completely said a different name, a different made up
like instead of name. Like I'm looking at a name here, I'm looking at Doug Stanhope's name. Like instead of saying Doug Stanhope, he said something like Rigmarole Chef Hepper.
You're right.
Like, hey everybody, when you worship celebrities, this is how he reads.
And he said it without skipping a beat.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's confident. That's why he knows he can like start slapping asses around a bathhouse and nobody is gonna, I guess nobody's turning him down. Maybe they are. You know, it's weird when I watch Pulp Fiction, I always think, God, man, there's nobody cooler than this guy. And then literally everything other than Pulp Fiction, when I watch it, I'm like, oh, there's John Travolta.
Well, he was cool in Grease.
He was?
Wasn't he? Isn't that the whole deal? He's supposed to be the cool kid with the cigarette behind his ear.
I don't know. Grease lightning. Wasn't he like, grease my ass?
You can still have a greasy ass and still be cool.
That'll be the quote that's on Instagram this week. You still have a greasy ass and be cool. Okay, so you got number 1, Massachusetts, number 5, New York, number 7, New Jersey.
Okay. Vermont.
Vermont is on the list. Vermont is number 6.
Knew it.
15% of their population has an advanced degree. Now, do you know any universities in Vermont?
Isn't there National Vermont State College?
Yes. I didn't know any universities in Vermont off the top of my head. There's 18 colleges in the state.
If you live in Vermont, just go ahead and unsubscribe from our show.
No, don't. We need these brainy people. The largest public university in Vermont is the University of Vermont. Now, on to important things. What kind of people is this brainy state of Vermont shitting out?
Bernie Sanders. I don't know if he was born there.
Well, he calls it home, right? Bernie Sanders, he's coming after me lately with this new Green Deal.
What do you mean?
Well, I just haven't been paying much attention to it seems early to pay attention to Democratic primaries now, but Bernie announced this new Green Deal. He's got my attention.
Give me the rundown on the Green Deal.
I know that all power would be converted to, it was like non-carbon or renewable by 2030.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
But it's bold, and I like, Bernie's got big balls on him.
Yeah, but I mean, I totally support the plan. I'm just saying, do you think these fucking oil companies are going to just lay down and let that happen?
They're going to murder Bernie in the street.
Yeah.
So, famous people from Vermont.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Ted Bundy.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Did you hear me?
Queen of India. Steve Carell.
Ted Bundy.
Okay.
He murdered people. Murdered them right on.
Not in Vermont, though.
But he's from there. They made him. They did this. But
Johnny Appleseed and Mother Earth together made him.
Ted Bundy. Nico Case.
Who's that?
She's an indie musician. I like Nico Case.
If you say so.
John Deere, inventor of the steel plow. And Phineas Gage. Do you know the story of Phineas Gage?
No, but why don't you tell me?
I will tell you. Phineas Gage was a railway worker who they used to, when they would like blow up a big chunk of rock, they had somebody go in and they bore a hole down into the rock, and then some guy would take this metal rod and stuff the dynamite deep down in this hole. Well, when it exploded on Phineas Gage, it shot the metal rod through his head.
Oh, I know this guy. Yeah.
And then he fucking stayed alive, but it made him all crazy, acted like an asshole the rest of his life. They studied him because of he survived it.
They were able to get it out of his head, though, right? He didn't have to walk around with it like...
I think it was eventually forced itself out like a splinter.
Oh, God.
No, I think they removed it. But his brain was no good no more.
Phineas Gage, God bless you. Listener of the show.
Yeah, he actually gets our show from the metal plate inside his skull.
He's dead, right?
Yeah, he died like more than 100 years ago.
Listener of the show.
Listener of the show.
Well, we can't rule out that he was able to get podcasts from the future and through his metal plate.
Honestly, once your brain has had a metal rod run through the middle of it, you're probably tuning into all kinds of extra dimensional shit.
Yeah, I've had metal rods put through me before, but not in my brain, am I right?
You mean in your hot asshole?
Whoa, you said it, not me.
All right, now you got number 1, number 5, number 6, number 7. If this was Battleship, you would be zeroing in on my Battleship right now. But you got plenty more to go.
Maine?
Maine is not on here, but that's a good guess.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire is number 9.
I knew it.
13.8% of their population has an advanced degree. Now, New Hampshire...
Explain to the folks at home what New Hampshire is.
New Hampshire is the most recent Hampshire in the United States of America.
Yeah.
It's the reboot of the original Hampshire starring Ernest Borgnine. They've rebooted it, and now New Hampshire is home to prestigious universities such as Dartmouth. You heard of Dartmouth? Yeah.
So do you think they were naming that by just throwing darts in some guy's mouth? Okay, you don't have to respond to that. Just go ahead.
That guy, like, whoever gets a bullseye in this guy's mouth gets to be the first university president.
Yeah, and gets to fuck him. What? What's wrong with that?
Good God.
What? That's far from the worst thing we've said on this show.
So, famous natives of New Hampshire. There's a lot, but I only wrote down 2. H.H. Holmes and Christa McAuliffe. Now, Christa McAuliffe, you'll recognize she's the first teacher in space.
Yeah, I knew that. Yep.
H.H. Holmes built a murder castle in Chicago.
Oh, I thought he invented the home. H.H. Holmes.
He invented the murder mansion. You know, when I was a kid, I used to draw like murder mansions and shit, and H.H. Holmes fucking built one. And if you don't know who H.H. Holmes is...
You'll know soon with the Leonardo DiCaprio film.
They're moving forward with Devil in the White City.
Aren't they?
I believe... I mean, it's been a long time since I've heard anything about it. But there's a great book about H.H. Holmes stalking the World's Fair in Chicago and murdering people. And they're going to make a movie of it with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he literally built a castle in the middle of Chicago.
With secret rooms and hallways and then ways that he could also gas and murder. He could murder his tenants or the people staying there with gas, and then he could put their bodies down a trapdoor or a chute down to the basement where he could play with them.
You mentioned he had rooms with gas. So do you, am I right?
H.H. Holmes. The two H's in H.H. Holmes.
Handy Herman.
Stand for happy and horny.
I like mine better.
Okay, so that's New Hampshire.
Yeah.
That's my book report on New Hampshire.
You know what else is happy and horny?
Do we have a promo to do?
Kovaltine, the fucking person who reviewed us on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's possible they're happy and horny. I couldn't verify it.
Read the thing and I'll judge, see if I can detect that.
Great show! This podcast is fantastic. The two hosts have great chemistry with each other, and the format for their show is unique. Each top 10 is researched well. I think they meant each top 10 featuring hashtag Nick's Notes is researched well. I'll follow up with them to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's what they meant. And the banter back and forth as one of them tries to guess each spot of the top 10 is hilarious. Definitely recommend. Would you? Is this person happy and or horny?
Happy? Yes. Oh, they said chemistry. Yeah, this guy's horny.
Could be a gal. You assume their gender?
What was the name again?
Kovaltine. We're going with horny.
He or she's fired up. On fire for the Lord. Thank you for that nice review.
One more here from Tina from the Accidental Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I love lists. I love learning about stuff that takes up valuable space in my brain. Someday I'm going to forget where I live because I found out who the worst presidents were, and that's okay. I'll keep listening, laughing, and forgetting little bits of important stuff, and you should too.
Huh, she's homeless.
Do you think... Is that...
We just learned her right out of a home?
Hey, worth it. No regrets. Hashtag no regrets. Do you think the brain works that way, where it only has so much room for information?
That's what my 6-year-old told me. He said if he wants to learn how to tie his shoes, he's going to have to take something out.
Smart kid.
So we're trying to figure out what information he does. I mean, we know, like, not peeing your pants has got to stay in there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to think maybe there's something around Power Rangers.
Loving his father, maybe?
Yeah, some family members we can cut out of there and get his shoes tied.
Now, just to be clear, is this the inflatable child or the real human flesh child?
I got bad news about my inflatable family.
Oh, no.
They popped.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it. Why does God let this happen? Why?
I'll tell you what happened. I was upset. My real family was gone. They'd been gone for a whole weekend. I was distraught.
Mm-hmm.
I was dirty. I hadn't bathed. I hadn't eaten. I was scratching and shitting on the floor.
Yeah, of course.
And I remembered my inflatable family. I gathered them around me, began to hug them and squeeze them and cry and moan. I squeezed harder and harder and harder. And then they went like willy-nilly, flying all around the room after they popped.
Well, Brandon, is there anything we can do for you? Do you want us to set up a meal train for you?
Oh, and my real family didn't go out of town. My real family went to the store for a few minutes, and I destroyed the inflatable family.
Well, never forget.
Look what you made me do!
Inflatable family. The good thing about inflatable family is they're easily replaceable. Just buy a new inflatable family.
I just keep patching up the same ones so they look disturbing.
Yeah. Well, even if we make you homeless from learning you too much information, thank you anyway for writing a review. And if you want your review read on this podcast, just get off your lazy fucking ass and go write one on Apple Podcasts, and we will read it. Brandon, I got 5 out of the 10 here. And I know that the next one is Pennsylvania.
No, Pennsylvania is not in the top 10.
Well, I was testing you because I know that the actual answer is... I need a fucking map.
Do you know all the states? Could you name all the states?
Yes, the actual answer is Rhode Island.
Rhode Island is number 10 on the list.
I knew it.
You barely made it. Rhode Island can boast 13.1% of their population with an advanced degree. Rhode Island is home to Brown University.
Of course, right. Located in Browntown. Downtown Browntown.
Are you saying brown like poop?
That's up for interpretation. I'm just saying that Brown University is located in downtown Browntown.
You know who comes from Rhode Island? You're going to shit. You're going to shit.
Okay.
First of all, Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Second,
no, of course.
Seth MacFarlane. He comes from Rhode Island.
Sure.
Richard Jenkins.
Oh, I love Richard Jenkins.
He's a Rhode Islander.
Is that why I'm going to shit?
Yeah. Did you shit? Tell the folks at home who Richard Jenkins is.
Richard Jenkins, my favorite role of Richard Jenkins is the stepfather in Step Brothers, who was tried to be a dinosaur when he was 17. He's also, my other favorite role with him is Cabin in the Woods. He's with that other guy.
Bradley Whitford.
Yeah.
Two awesome actors. I forgot that it was the two of them together in that underground, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins. He's a Rhode Islander. Okay. And those are the only notes about Rhode Island. The notes about Rhode Island are as small as the state itself.
I would disagree because your notes were much smaller. But I'm going to say for my next guess, they're all Northeast still, right? Besides one?
Besides one.
What's left? Connecticut.
Connecticut is number 3.
What a interesting little hint for how to pronounce the word. You just say connect and then a kit.
And I cut.
I cut, yeah. Connect and then I cut.
I cut!
You never know what you're going to learn on the Tennis Podcast.
17% of Connecticutians have an advanced degree.
How many of them have an inflatable family?
17%.
Got it.
Now, universities, Connecticut, their first law school, Litchfield Law School, was opened in 1773.
Big whoop.
Yeah, big fucking whoop, Litchfield. Connecticut is also home to Yale, Trinity College, and UConn are in Connecticut.
Do you know who went to Yale?
George W. Bush and John Kerry and all those other skull and bones fuckers.
Well, I got someone else.
Who?
Topanga.
Topanga went to Yale after she met the world?
Yeah. That show that you hate and you can't stop shitting on, Boy Meets World?
Okay, whatever.
Topanga went to Yale. She had to leave Corey. She might have turned it down, though, to stay with him in the rain.
Oh, lame.
So what else about Connecticut?
Well, Connecticut has birthed to us Kevin Bacon, Michael J. Fox, Katharine Hepburn, Seth MacFarlane.
Wait, again?
Yeah, I told you they fucking all lay claim to the same people over and over.
Well, it's not like Seth MacFarlane is like this hot commodity you gotta have.
He can only be born in one place. I don't understand.
Well,
Marilyn Monroe, Paul Newman, Treat Williams.
Love Treat.
Aaron Hernandez. Do you know who he is?
Mm-hmm.
You do? Tell the folks at home who Aaron Hernandez was.
He's known for a lot of things, but he first rose to prominence for founding Bush's Baked Beans.
No. He was on the New England Patriots football team and he murdered somebody and then he killed himself in jail.
Well, I like mine better because it's less depressing.
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Beecher? I hardly know her.
That's mine. P.T. Barnum.
BTK?
No, P.T. Physical Therapy Barnum.
BTK?
He invented the circus. Stephanie McMahon. Martha Stewart. The Bushes. And Helen Keller. But she didn't know she was from there.
Helen Keller didn't know she didn't know what was going on.
She didn't know hide nor hair of Connecticut.
Well, she probably did know she's from Connecticut, right? Because she taught children.
Nah.
Yeah, it is more fun to think that she just didn't know what the hell was going on at any given time. Helen Keller, rest in peace, listener of the show. Connecticut has a pretty impressive resume there, so I'm wondering what number 2 could possibly be. Is Delaware in the top 10?
Delaware is not, but you are hot on the hot for number
Maryland.
2. It's Maryland. Maryland is number 2.
Yeah, let's break it down. That's another way to remember how to spell and say Maryland.
Maryland.
Mary space land. You combine them, Maryland.
18% of their population has an advanced degree. They're number 2 on the list behind Massachusetts. Now, Maryland is home to Johns Hopkins University. let's get to the important things. The people who come from Maryland are Frederick Douglass.
Yeah. What is that? His fourth one?
He's from all over.
How do we not know that he has a couple of clones running around?
He's probably a rambling man. You know what I mean?
No.
Do you not know what a rambling man is?
Tell the folks at home what a rambling man is.
A rambling man, he gets himself a lady friend in a town. A lady friend falls in love with him or in lust with him. And she says, hey, when you coming back? He says, can't come back, baby. Gotta ramble. And he moves on to another town, picks up a new girlfriend, and repeats the process. Frederick Douglass, I think, might have been a rambling man.
Yeah. I mean, why don't Frederick Douglass... Why don't you tell the folks at home who he is so they can get the context?
Frederick Douglass was born a poor black child. Frederick Douglass was born a slave, and he learned to read and became an educator and author and statesman and he
friend of Abe Lincoln. So
best buds with Abraham Lincoln.
You're accusing this man of rambling, just so we're clear. You heard it here first. You can quote the Tennis Podcast, Sidekick host Brandon Kaufman. Frederick Douglass, ramblin' man.
A rambling man. Frederick Douglass, Brett Kavanaugh.
Oh, good.
Brett Kavanaugh is a boofing man. Nancy Pelosi. Edgar Allan Poe, who was Attorney General from 1911 to 1915.
What?
It's not, he's the second cousin to the author. He shares a name with him. He was named after his second cousin, author Edgar Allan Poe.
It's not like this fucking guy knew his second cousin. His parents are just trying to cash in.
Edgar Allan Poe died a long time ago before this guy was named that.
Well, why not just go by Edgar Poe then or something to make it less obvious?
I don't know. So the guy that invented GPS, Johann GPS, he's from Maryland. The inventor of Tabasco sauce, Johann Tabasco.
I'd love to shake Johann Tabasco's hand.
Tom Clancy, Frank Miller, Tori Amos, Genuine. You remember Genuine?
Of course.
Do you?
I genuinely remember Genuine. I only know him because he's in Parks and Rec.
He is?
Yeah.
Did he sing Pony?
He is the cousin of one of the characters.
Oh. My pony. Philip Glass, the composer. Joan Jett, Lisa Loeb, Cisco. Remember him?
Is that the Thong Song guy?
Yeah, the Thong Song guy. He's from Maryland. Frank Zappa, John Wilkes Booth, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
We went from Frederick Douglass to John Wilkes Booth to Elaine.
To William H. Macy, who we all know appears nude in birthday cards.
Well, we don't all know that, Brandon. I know that, but the listeners have no fucking context for what you're talking about.
You know that, and the one other person who that joke was for knows that. And Harriet Tubman. She's going to be on the $20 bill.
She's going to replace Jackson on the 20?
Yeah, but for some reason, the Trump administration has been dragging their heels on that.
Too busy reading the Bible.
Yeah. So you got two left.
Virginia.
Yeah. Virginia is number 4.
I knew it.
16.1% of their population has an advanced degree. Now, Virginia is for lovers. Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Is that their slogan or whatever? Their tagline?
Yeah. Have you not seen the tacky shirts and stuff that say Virginia is for lovers? It's full of fucking.
Yeah.
So they got 167 colleges and universities in Virginia. They're fucking lousy with them. University of Virginia is ranked the 2nd public college in the nation. William and Mary is ranked the 6th public college in the nation. Also home to Virginia Tech. Remember what happened there?
Why do you got to do that? Why do you got to depress the shit out of us?
Because that's what I think of. That's what I think of. That little Asian guy shot all those people up.
Yeah.
And VMI, the Virginia Military Institute. Now, there are a lot of famous people from Virginia. A lot of them were Civil War generals that I wanted to talk about, but I did not do it.
Oh, thank you.
Patch Adams, Steve Bannon, Dave Bautista, D'Angelo, R&B singer D'Angelo. You remember him?
No.
He's a rhythm and blues singer. Jimmy Dean, the Sausage King. He's from Virginia. Dave Grohl. Did you know that?
I knew that.
Vince Gilligan, Did you know that?
Yep.
Yeah, fucker. Thomas Jefferson.
Yep.
Stonewall Jackson.
Of course.
Douglas MacArthur.
What about Frederick Douglass?
Frederick Douglass.
Is he really on there?
No, he's not. Amy Mann. Michael Vick.
Oh, good.
He murdered dogs.
Yeah. Fuck Michael Vick.
Zachary Taylor, and he was the president, and Lawrence Taylor, he did cocaine.
Oh, that's LT, Lawrence. I know who Lawrence
All
Taylor
of our
is.
sports fans, you do know who LT is?
Yeah.
Yeah, LT, Lawrence Taylor, enjoyed booger sugar.
Booger sugar.
Nose candy. Toot toot.
We don't discriminate against those who like a good toot toot now and then. And that includes you, Brandon, but not for the same kind.
Okay, so there's one state left in the top 10.
Uh-huh.
One brainy state left.
Well, let me look here.
It's in the West. And
Colorado.
It's landlocked. It is Colorado.
Look at that.
Why
Holy
did you
shit.
guess Colorado?
Because you already ruled out California. You said it's landlocked. Colorado's full of smart people.
And we knew it wasn't Nevada because that was on the list of dum-dums.
Yeah, I thought about Arizona for a hot second. Minnesota.
You know why Montana would have been not a bad guess? Is Montana has the absolute highest rate of high school graduation. 93% of Montanans have graduated high school or higher.
That would be more impressive if their population was more than like 300 people. But
not a bunch of those are cows.
Yeah, I think their population is like 19 people. Colorado, little word trick here for you. Color a do. So you combine it all. Colorado.
Colorado is not home to a ton of prestigious universities. UC Boulder, I believe, is a good school. They're near the Flatiron Mountains. In the Stand, it's where the survivors made their home.
Stephen King's The Stand.
Right. Now, Dwayne Chapman, better known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, he's from Colorado. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they're from Colorado. And Gerald Ford. And that's it.
That's all that's ever been from Colorado?
That's the only people worth noting from that state. So, your top 10 brainiest states, your top 10 most educated states. These are the states with the largest percentage of their population holding an advanced degree. Number 10, Rhode Island. Number 9, New Hampshire. Number 8, Colorado. Number 7, New Jersey. Number 6, Vermont. Number 5, New York. Number 4, Virginia. Number 3, Connecticut. Number 2, Maryland. And number 1, Massachusetts.
Hell of a list, Brandon.
Not bad, right?
I mean, you spent most of the time just rattling off celebrity names.
Right.
Yeah, so that was great.
I'm trying to give you like an abstract impression or a tone for each state. Rather than give you a bunch of boring facts, I'm trying to paint a collage of images in your head that add up to like what this state is. So Colorado, what do you think?
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Dog the Bounty Hunter, South Park guys, Gerald Ford.
Yep.
Right.
JWoww from, where was JWoww? New Hampshire?
She's from New York.
Oh. New York.
She made it there, and then she knew, well, fuck it, I could make it anywhere. I'll go down the Jersey Shore. I'll take these big fake Hooters down to the Jersey Shore.
Hey, we don't discriminate against big fake Hooter boasting individuals.
Do we have a bunch of them listening?
We can't rule it out. So that's JWoww.
Yeah. I'm glad of all the episodes for her to come up on. It's the most educated states.
That's great. Most educated states. Maybe we should do most educated cast members of the Jersey Shore for our next episode.
I think my notes would be very short.
Yeah. Brandon's bullets.
I think there would be some bouncing around at a community college and then a lot of boofing at the shore.
Speaking of boofing, you should boof on over to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and follow us there at 10ishpod. That's 10ishpod. That actually reminds me, I meant to do this at the top, but let's close with this. Sometimes I'll ask kind of random poll questions on our Twitter account, and then we like to read the answers here. So, Brandon, I asked our Twitter followers at TennisPod, I said, what is your favorite genre of movie, of film?
Yeah.
And it's actually a very close race.
Porno.
Why do you have to ruin the punchline?
Was it porno?
Porno was an option.
It was?
The options were A, horror, B, comedy, C, drama or thriller, and D, it's porn, isn't it? We have a tie.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy and drama thriller, 27% each. Horror, 23%. Porn, 23%.
Fucking sickos, God.
Isn't that fascinating, Brandon?
God damn. No, my stomach hurts now. Don't listen, all you listeners out there. If you're secretly perverts, don't tell us.
Isn't it weird that like every person you pass on the street watches a lot of porn?
Just no matter who it is, not only are they watching it, they're watching a lot of it.
Well, I mean, imagine like all these famous people, presidents, famous inspirational people, pastors, Joel Osteen, I guarantee it. These people, Whoopi Goldberg maybe, they're all watching porn. It's just a part of the culture now.
Mm-hmm.
But one more thing on Twitter is, if you missed it, we also sent a poll asking people what they want us to cover in our next opinion episode, which is going to be episode 55, 2 weeks from the release of this episode you're listening to. And the people have spoken. We're going to be talking conspiracy theories.
Good.
Which is hot new ground for us here on the pod, at least. But Brandon is definitely someone who likes to live in that rabbit hole.
I've been making my family scared for weeks now. Doing my own unnecessary research into conspiracies.
Yeah, so if you have any particular conspiracy theories you'd like us to maybe touch on in this episode, you can tweet us at TennisPod, and we will we'll look into it.
Except for Pizzagate. That one's bullshit, and I already looked into it. Don't tell me Pizzagate.
Okay. Well, we can still cover bullshit conspiracies if they're interesting,
That's right.
Brandon.
Send it to me anyway.
Yeah. Okay, anything else you want to tell these fine people and our listeners?
Well, we have a Patreon.
Oh, yeah,
and if you are interested in hearing more of us, where we're not doing lists per se, but we're still talking our words out of our mouths and saying naughty curse words, you, for the low price of $3 a month, you can become a patron. You get these bonus episodes at least once a month. We're aiming for more than that. High quality, juicy content. We just recorded one last night that was dripping with bonus juice.
Oh my God.
You can sign up and get these.
Yeah, and you also get early release to new episodes, discounts on merch, and a virtual hug from Brandon and I. Go to patreon.com/tennispod.
You can follow me on Twitter at SidekickHost. I don't tweet very much, but I might like your shit.
You can follow me at Nick_EMEL.
You can follow my ass out the door when we stop recording this.
Let's stop recording right now. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thanks.
We'd like to thank Kevin MacLeod for his song Hackbeat, which we found on Incompetech.com for the official Tennis Podcast theme.